So this morning I woke up and I slept only 4 hours, and I felt the pain of the tiredness really deep when I woke up. And whenever I have pain or even emotional negative emotions, which are a set of different physical sensations that we describe as pain, I remind myself of one thing, and it is that. So I have drawn a small diagram that I'm going to show you. Every experience that you have in your life is made out of, or seems to be made out of, a subject, which is consciousness, and an object, which seems to be the experience that appears in consciousness. So at any given moment, there's consciousness being aware of what you see, what you hear, what you physically feel, what you smell, and what you taste. And in non-duality and Hinduism and Buddhism, what they talk about is that the illusion is that there is an object and a subject, but that when you meditate a lot and you become enlightened or you have enlightenment experiences, the two actually merge. But in order to do so, you have to stop focusing on the object and start noticing the mere consciousness and awareness. And it's always there. So right now, if I do it, like just at this very moment, it's just being aware that I am aware. So it's being aware that I can feel my hand holding something, and that I can see the camera, and that I'm hearing some stuff. And so I'm gonna try to show the diagram. I don't know if it's very clear. Oh shit. So basically, it's reversed, but basically consciousness and the subject are like a dot, and the circle around it is all the experiences that you have at one given moment. So it is just like everything you see, everything you feel, everything you experience. And the dot is the subject. It is that which is aware of what you're experiencing. And so how I picture it in my mind is every time that I feel pain or emotional suffering, it creates a breach in that circle that goes deep to the core of basically who I am, because what we are is consciousness, and that's it, nothing else. We're consciousness of the physical body and everything that we are experiencing. And so why do I say that? So the positive thing about pain or emotional suffering is that it creates this breach inside of the circle to consciousness. So it's kind of a gateway to consciousness, which is what you want to put your focus on, in order to not be as focused on the object, on the dream, on the illusion anymore. And so if you want to become enlightened, if you want to stop living in the dream, that's basically what you want to do. So when people are meditating and truly want to become like the Buddha or have enlightenment experiences, what they're trying to do is to put their focus off the object back just to the subject. And it's not even a matter of focus, because there's always the subject. It's always there. In order to have an experience, there has to be consciousness. Otherwise, it's not even possible. There wouldn't be any experience, because how can an experience exist if there's nothing to experience it? How can you say that? Only in your mind can you try to think about it, but have you ever experienced a non-experience? Never. And so every time you feel pain or or suffering or something that you don't like, you can actually see that it brings your focus back to awareness and also to here and now, the present moment. And this is why it's positive. It is because the greatest source of suffering in humankind is that we focus so much on objects and we worry about it. Once you stop doing so, you stop worrying and the suffering goes away. One layer of suffering goes away. So you still feel the pain, but also what, for example, David Hawkins says in Letting Go, the Pathway to Surrender, and that's how he, the method he thinks we should use when we have physical ailments is that we should just look at it without trying to change it and let go of it. And when you let go of it, what it actually means is that you stop clinging to it and you're in the here and now and you're only feeling it. You're not labeling it with your mind. So basically what you're doing is going back to consciousness. And then at a certain point, some physical ailments go away. Maybe not all, but most go away. So what this means is every physical pain that you feel is manifested by your mind because you hold on to it, so you give your energy to it. So whenever you feel pain, you can remind yourself that it's just a breach to consciousness. It's just like this stronger link that you have to consciousness and to the here and now, where which is where you want to be living if you don't want to suffer too much. And that's pretty positive. And so what you do basically is that you just observe the physical sensations and you notice that there is something that's aware of it, and you don't try to change the physical sensation. You remain in awareness, or you just focus on the sensation without labeling it in your mind and saying, oh, how long is it gonna last? It's gonna be worse. Or how am I gonna manage this? Like, how am I gonna be able to live with this, or stuff like that? Those are all thoughts. Those are all assumptions you make about the future that doesn't exist, and that are based on your fears that come from the past, which doesn't exist either. So this is kind of what I think about when I have pain or when I'm really tired. Brings me back to right here, right now. You can stop giving a shit about all the rest. And everything's really fine when you do that. It's not like everything crumbles and there's chaos just happening in your life because you stop thinking about the future and the past. Not at all. When you stop worrying, that's when all sorts of solutions come to your awareness, come to your mind, you know. So that's how you can reframe pain and suffering. Thanks for listening.